Hello, Rebel, and welcome back to my life. Are you okay? Are you okay? Are we all okay today? Am I okay? I don't know if I'm okay. I saw Avengers finally. It's really good. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to give away any story stuff, but I'm going to talk about the movie in general. I got to get the bad out of the way first. There's some real bad fat phobia in this movie. It's very jarring. I didn't like it. It's gone by the end of the movie and you actually get to see some like really cool stuff with the fat character, but yeah, that's not great. I wish, oh boy, do I just wish creators wouldn't do stuff like this, because it takes what would have been an entirely enjoyable experience and just always has that little peg right there, that little thing. It was perfect, but because it's pretty perfect. That aside, oh boy, it's just really good. I've never had trouble naming a list of my favorite movies of all time, and it changes over the years, but I've always sort of known what it is. I don't feel bad like assigning arbitrary values to these things, right? I don't think Endgame is my favorite movie of all time. I think it's number 2. I think. But watching it last night was unquestionably, far and away, not even a close second place, the best movie-going experience I've ever had. Get that difference? The difference between the quality of the movie itself and the experience that I had watching it in last night's theater. We were screaming, and I mean screaming, not just oh or ooh, through the theater, but full-throated screaming in joy, in anger, in all sorts of stuff. We were laughing so hard, and we were crying. I have not sobbed that way at a movie since The Lord of the Rings. Just abject, curled up in my chair sobbing. So that experience, I just don't think anything's ever going to top it. I don't think anything's ever going to top that. I mean, I'm willing to be proven wrong, but I don't think so. Endgame is a love letter to fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and to the Marvel Cinematic Universe itself, which you could see as egotistical, but in this case, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. The movie is so obviously aware of the legacy that it has inherited from its own previous creations, right? And it is so painfully obviously also telling the audience, yo, we wouldn't be here without you, and we just want to do our damnedest to give you everything you want to see. And sometimes what they give you lands perfectly, and sometimes it lands somewhat less than perfectly, but they are never doing anything than swinging for a total knockout. There are so many moments. It's not a particularly highbrow or maybe even effective form of film criticism to just sit there and say, do you remember the part when? Do you remember the part when? Do you remember the part when? But I could make a half-hour video of the part when. And I know there are people out there who are going to be like, oh, this is just a big fan servicey moment, just a cool thing that they wanted to put on screen that's like not necessarily important to the rest of the movie. Shut up! Shut up! Yeah, it's fan service. We're fans. We've given Marvel tens of billions of dollars. Yeah, they get to service us for a few moments in this movie. Not service us, you know what I mean. The rule of cool is in full effect. There are so many things that happen just cause it's freaking awesome, and that's okay. Probably my favorite way that the remember that part where phenomenon manifests itself is in the spoilers without context memes. I'm gonna put a few of those memes on the screen over the next 20 or 30 seconds so those of you who have seen the movie can see what I'm talking about. And those are great too, because they're quote unquote spoilers, and so somebody can block them if they want to, but they're not actually spoilers, so you can share them on social media without really ticking anybody off. But other people who have seen it are like, oh my god, I just love this. This is my favorite kind of joke. I'm a big fan. If you have your own Avengers spoilers without context memes, please share them in the comments. Please, I love them. They're my favorite thing. This movie is a flex on Marvel's part. Absolutely a flex. Just look what we can do now that we've spent the last, 12 years putting all of this stuff together. And you haven't really seen that in the previous Avengers, specifically, films since the first one. Because the first Avengers movie was very clearly saying, hey, this whole big movie universe thing that we are trying to do, look what we can do with it. And Endgame takes that to the next level and says both, you're welcome for what we have done with it, and somehow at the same time, thank you so much for being part of it. It's really, oh boy, it's so hard to talk about this movie. It's just, go see it. Go see it and come on over to my Discord server and hop in the spoilers channel and let's talk about it. If social situations don't freak you out, don't miss seeing it this weekend. See it with an opening weekend crowd. See it with the people who are loud and cheer and laugh and cry, because you want that experience with this movie. I'm telling you, you do. As a film guy, my favorite stories are people who went to see the original Star Wars and the stories of being in those theaters and experiencing the crowd reactions. And I'm telling you, when you're old, you're going to want to have stories about seeing Endgame on opening weekend. I'm telling you, Marvel's not paying me to say this. It's just so good. I am going to go before I am rendered even less comprehensible than the movie has already made me. Boy, Rebel, I just haven't enjoyed myself that much in a really, really long time. Seriously, to every single person who had a hand in these movies that have been such a big part of my life for the last 12 years, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's all I've got for you today, Rebel. Seriously, if you have seen the film, hop over into my Discord server. There's a link to it in the description down below. I will see you next Friday after I have seen Avengers at least 2 or 3 more times. Bye!